everybody, welcome back to Pushing Pixels. I'm your host, Sam Estes. Today we're going to do something fun. I don't remember where this project actually came from. If it was something I saw or a version of something I saw. Either way, I've kind of thrown my own stink on it anyway, and it's something we do in my 101 class. So let's get going. It starts off with this young lady right here. I got this image from DeviantArt. And as you can see, one of the problems already is that her feet are not even. This one's way higher than this one, so we'll have to deal with that later. But right now, I just want to get her off the background. Quick selection tool right there. I could have swore I turned that on. Did I not? Let's find out. There it is. Quick selection tool underneath your magic wand. I'm going to go there, and I am going to start selecting her. See if I can get a little bit bigger brush there. There we go. I'm going to grab her, and I'm not too worried about her feet that much. I'm mostly just worried about the upper part of her. There's her arm back there. Don't forget that. And we're going to try to salvage some of this hair. All right, so I have her selected, and it's pretty good. I'm not going to worry about those laces. Those won't come into play anyway. She's got really long fingernails. And the only thing we really have to fix right here is her hair. We have pretty solid lines. So I'm going to go up to the selected mask tool up there. And I'm using red as my background because it's just easier for me to see. And I'm going to pick the Refine Edge tool, this guy right here. And make my brush a little bigger. And I'm going to drag in from the red and get the remaining hairs I didn't get the first time. And I'm not overly concerned about getting this super accurate because there's going to be a lot of craziness happening in this image anyway, so nothing really too much to worry about. See if we can get these last hairs here. And I like that. That's a pretty decent pull, I think. Let me look at yeah, that's not too bad. That's close enough for now. And I always save. I output this to new layer with layer mask in case I need to go back in time and fix something. So I'm going to click OK, and I have my image now with a mask. Not too bad. All right, I need to put her into a scene, and I'm going to stick her on this stock image I have. It's a one-point perspective, actually, and if you turn on your rulers and drag down, you can kind of see that's the horizon line, and that's kind of something we're going to focus on. So back to her, I'm going to hold down Shift and drag that layer over and get her. She's pretty close, actually, right in position. Now, her feet are kind of out of alignment, so I'm going to free transform her, Command T, and just sort of tilt her just a little bit, just so her feet are closer to being lined up than not being lined up. That's pretty darn good. So I'm going to leave her right there. Awesome. Not too bad. I'm going to turn my guides off. There we go. Command colon or semicolon, whatever that thing is. All right. So first thing we got to do is she's got to cast a bit of a shadow. So on a new layer underneath her, I'm going to put a blank layer. And I am going to commit this. You can see I got a little bit of line there. That's new. I'm going to commit this this mask, this layer mask to the image. So right click on it and apply layer mask, and that will apply the mask. She's permanently cut out now, and we can see we've lost that line because we need to use her as a selection set. So hold on your command key and click the little picture right there, and you will get her selected all the way around her. All right. And there we go, do that again. And on the layer below her, I'm going to fill it with black. So black is my foreground color. If it's not, hit D. And I'm going to hold down my Alt key and hit the Delete key. So Alt Delete or Option Delete will fill that layer with black. Now you can't see it because it's directly behind her. There it is, right there, if I turn her off. But we're going to use that as the shadow. So turn that off. Let's go back to our shadow here. And free transform, Command T. And if you right-click inside, you'll get the options menu for that. And we are going to flip vertical. Yes. Turn that And let's save that for a second. I'm going to turn that back on, and I'm going to move my shadow down here. And I might have to do a little bit of turning and adjusting, but not too much, hopefully. It really doesn't matter because we're going to tone this shadow down anyway. There we go. Not too bad, right? And I am going to turn the opacity all the way down to about 30-ish. I'm in the 30 area. I don't want it too prominent. You could make it, I wouldn't go higher than 35. All right. And then we're going to blur it, Gaussian blur. So we've got a filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And I don't know, let's see. I don't know what we did in class, but let's go with 5. 5 is a good round number. Perfect. All right. I don't need her anymore, so I can lose her. And I got her in my scene. And she's landing in this water. We're gonna pretend like she just landed. She fell out of somewhere and landed in this water. So we need some water splashes. So I'm going to open up this guy right here. And I got some water splashes. So we're gonna put those around her feet, but I don't need them in blue. So I'm gonna desaturate them. Command-Shift-U is the desaturate. Not too bad. Because we're just going to need the whites. All we need from water is the whites. And I'm going to level up this. That's kind of gray. So Command-L will bring up our levels. And I am going to bring the whites over. You can see the whites start about right there. So I'm going to drag that over at least till it gets to there. And click OK. Now my whites are looking pretty good. All right, now we need to extract that off the background. We just need the whites. So if we go to Channels, our Channels tab, and we Command-click this picture, it's going to select all of the highlights in our image. All right. Go back to my layers, and if I hit Command-J, it'll copy them to a brand new layer. And in order to see that, I probably have to put a layer behind it so you can see it. So I'm just going to put a background there. There you go. So now you can see my water. There is, though, a little residual black in there. So let's get rid of that. So click your water layer there. Make sure that's active. Go to Layer, Matting, and matting, layer matting, and remove black matte. And when I do, you will see the black matting go away. Not too bad. Still not as white as I want. I'm going to double that layer. Command-J one more time. Makes it just a little bit more white. And I'm going to select those 2 layers now and merge them together. Command-E. Pow. You can see that right there. All right, so I got my water. Don't worry about the gray and everything. We don't care about that. We're just going to be grabbing water selections here. So let's grab a couple of these waters, and we're going to put them around her feet. I'm going to use my lasso tool, just regular old lasso, and I'm going to lasso L, thank you, and I'm going to pick this guy right here. I'm going to draw. Perfect. Got him selected, and if I hit V and hold down my Alt key, I can just move that selection from one document to another. So hold down your Alt key and you'll get double arrows, and I'm just going to drag that over here like so. Now it's got to be in front of her, and I'm just going to put that right about there. Okay. Right about her feet. And don't worry, we're going to fix all of this later and clean it up. So let's grab another one. I'm going to take the one next to it, I think. I'm going to take this guy right here. Okay. And again, go to my move tool, V, and then hold my Alt key down, double arrows, and drag it over here again. And I'm going to put this one right here, except I don't want them to go in the same direction. So before I return, I'm going to right click there and flip horizontal. Oops, there we go, and kind of put it there, and maybe make it a little bit smaller. Nothing too insane. Maybe make it a little bit longer. Maybe bigger splash there. A little bit more. All right, that's not too bad. Perfect. And don't save. I don't care about that. I'm going to use a couple more water splashes that I've decided I want to try using. If I still have them, please say I have them. Not those, not that, not these. Where's my water splash? There we are. Here we go. Not this guy. Maybe this guy. Let's try this guy. Let's see what happens if we dump this guy in. It's on black and white. I'm going to desaturate it, Command-Shift-U, and make it black and white. And then Command-L again, and I'm just going to push up the whites just a little bit, okay? And we'll try this. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I'm going to drag this layer over. All right. And I need to get rid of that black, so set that layer to screen. There we go. Oh, this is going to work perfect. All right, so I have this layer. I'm going to put it also over her feet. I'm going to put it over everything. I'm going to Command T it, okay? And I'm going to sort of warp it. I'm going to use the warp tool and kind of reshape it a little bit. All right, and I'm just going to pull some parts. I know it has an edge. We're going to get rid of that edge any second. All right, so I'm going to pretend it's sort of splashing this way. All right, and then I'm going to go to the erase tool, and I'm going to grab a very soft edge brush. Perfect. And I'm going to make it sort of big. All right, and I'm going to turn the opacity down to about, I'm going to say 40-ish. So I turn the opacity down to 40, and I'm just going to sort of softly get rid of this edge around here, okay? Just really sort of just come in here and just click away a little bit and get rid of this edge. And you could see you're going to get a very nice little splash there. There you go. Edge is all gone. Looking pretty good. I'm actually going to reuse it over here. One more time, copy. Set that layer to screen again, right? And this time I'm going to flip it horizontal, Command T, right? Put it over on this guy. And again, I'm going to warp it. I'm going to warp this one a little bit different. I'm going to say it's splashing out over here, and maybe it really went high there, and kind of went up this way. And again, I'm going to use my erase tool, same erase tool, and with just a very soft edge, I'm going to go through and get rid of this edge and help just start blending it into everything else. There we go. That's pretty slick, right? Nice. All right, so we're going to close that guy. I don't need him anymore. What else do we need in this image? Let's see. Well, let's put something on her gun barrel here. I gave everybody this magical lens flare right there. Right? And we can use that as sort of a highlight piece. Let's go to that and maybe zoom down. All right, so I'm going to drag this over, shift, and I don't need the black, so I'm going to set the layer to screen and not color. That doesn't work. Screen. There we go. All right, and I'm going to put it right over the barrel of her gun. And I'm going to go to Free Transform, hold down my Alt key, and I'm going to stretch this so it goes off the document completely. Just like that. I want it to go from end to end. Full bleed. There we go. Pretty slick, right? I don't need that anymore. What else can we do that is fun? Let's look at our original and see what is going on. Ooh, we got these nice little ringlets. Let's do those real quick. Actually, before we do those ringlets, let's put in some debris. I'm going to put on a new layer. Boom. Oh, before I even do that, let's give these a little motion blur. Both these little water things, let's give them a little motion blur. So on this one, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I want it to look like the water is flying away from her. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and I'm going to point it so it's going that way, left to, up and down, sort of at an angle. And look at, you can already see, if I turn off the preview, what it's doing. And it kind of gives the water a little motion. Maybe 31's not good. How about 20? I don't want it to get too, maybe 10. 10's pretty good. Let's do the other one now, this guy right here. Except same one, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Except we're going to, no, not Gaussian blur, motion blur. Filter, blur, motion blur. Except we're going to go the other direction now. It's going to be splashing from the bottom to the right. All right, and you can sort of see what's happening already. I'm going to give this one about 5 more pixel blur, 15 pixels. That's not bad. And what if we do it to the ones underneath? Same blur. I'm just going to Command F because it's the same exact. Oh, it doesn't let you do that anymore. Forgot about that. Filter. There it is. Not too bad. And let's do the same thing on this guy over here. We're going to go the other direction again, though, so we'll readjust. Blur, motion blur. We'll turn it the other direction. And that's pretty good. All right, much better, much, much better. Let's make those ringlets now. I'm going to start a new document, filter, file, new. I'm going to make this document 8 inches by 8 inches. 10 by 10 is fine too. That's 72 dots, why not? So here's what I'm going to do. On my 10 by 10 document, I am going to, on a new layer actually, I'm going to put a, ooh, not good. I'm going to put a lens flare, too small, here. I'm going to put a smaller one right here, and then I'm going to put another smaller one right there. So on my 10 by 10 document, I'll turn my rulers on so it's inches. So you can see it's 10 by 10. I put some lens flares there on their own layer, and I'm going to go up to filter, distort, polar coordinates. Make sure rectangular to polar is selected, and when I hit OK, I'm going to make this cool little ringlet. And that's pretty cool, right? I'm going to drag it over to my document. Kapow! Holding down Shift. Close that. Okay. And I'm going to free transform. I'm going to scale it up just a bit. Okay. So it's kind of around her. And then I am going to squish it down and turn it at an angle like that. Okay. And then I'm going to copy that layer. Command J. Ooh, actually, that looks better that I've doubled it up. I'm going to take those two layers and merge them together real quick so they're nice. Now I have a brighter one there. I'm going to take that one and Command J it. Oh, it even gets brighter. And there, and I'm going to rotate it this way maybe a little bit, right? Make it a little bit bigger so it looks like it's going around her. Perfect. Now on those two layers, boom, that one and this one. Wait, where'd my other one go? That one and that one. Actually, those are pretty good. I don't even need to repair those. Let's keep those. Oh, you know what you can see on those, though? Look at that. You can kind of see that white line. I'm going to get my eraser tool and just erase that edge. Had a little bit of edge on there. No big deal. It'll work still. And maybe on this one as well. But I may have to remake that brush. All right, so I got my little ringlets now. Right? Those are pretty cool. What is left? I got her splashing in the water. I got her lens flare. I think, honestly, all that's really left is to sort of tone this image a bit. We've done everything we needed to do. What is that guy? Oh, those are our ringlets. You know what I didn't do in class, though, is I kind of wanted to put a very bright white light behind her. So right above the bottom layer there. I want to put a highlight line, and I'm just going to use white and a soft brush. And make sure your brush is back at 100%. That's eraser. I need brush. Thank you. I'll figure out what I'm doing here, everybody. All right, so that. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a very soft white line behind her to sort of show the highlight of where the horizon is. So I'm going to click right here on the left. Click. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and go to the right and click again, and it'll connect those 2 points. Now that is not as nice as I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to try it again. Bang, bang. There we go. So now we got this nice highlight line behind her, looking pretty good. The last two things we got to do, let's put a curves up. Curves adjustment layer. Let's do some contrast. So go down here, click this little guy, and pick curves. And make sure it's at the top because it's going to affect everything. And I am going to click up here and push the whites a little bit, and then I'm going to move down here and drag the blacks down just a little bit, and you can really see it's helping this thing start to pop quite a bit. I'll turn it off. It's a little washed, and now if I turn it on there, it's pretty nice, right? Not too bad. One more thing I'm going to do is go back down there again to the half circle, half colored circle, and pull up a color lookup right there. And in there, I'm going to pick, I think I picked 50, film stock 50.3 DL. And look at that, it gives me this nice saturated image. Very vibrant. Turn it off there. That's cool. That's pretty slick. What did I do on my other one here, my color lookup? I left it, what did I pick there? I picked another one. This one's called the Fuji F125, and you can see what that one does there. I kind of like this one a little bit better though. This one's kind of cool. All right. All right. One last thing to do. Let's redirect your eye just a little bit. What is that layer doing there? That layer's got nothing. I got a layer right here, right underneath my adjustment layers. And with black as my foreground color, hit D, go to gradient. We're going to use gradient to transparent. And I'm going to pull a little black down here. All right. I'm going to pull a little black up there. Okay, just to sort of frame this whole thing. And I'm just going to tone it down just a smidge. And there you go. She looks pretty darn cool. I think that color lookup might be a little bit too much. Let's try the Fuji just for the sake of argument. What did I use? Fuji 120. I don't remember. It was one of these. You know what? Let's leave it. I actually kind of like it that way. I do like it that way a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's close this guy. That looks pretty cool. Practice, 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 and enjoy your day. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good night.